Despite being the first military head of state to have successfully relinquished power to a civilian government in Nigeria, Obasanjo was determined to sever all ties with the British. Learn more about how he Americanized Nigeria. As a result of the military takeover that ravaged Nigeria's First Republic in January 1966, coups became a ubiquitous instrument to overthrow the incumbent military regime. Sadly, a few of the coups resulted in several assassinations and the exit of some military leaders. Amidst the military dispensation came the discussion of relinquishing power to a civilian, although some of the apologists of this vision did not see it succeed. Be that as it may, General Olusegun Obasanjo, a former military head of state, took the bull by the horns and implemented the plan of late Murtala Muhammed. He handed over to a civilian. His decision was greeted with trepidation from his military colleagues. Notwithstanding, he was able to prevail upon them by using his veto power in the Supreme Military Council, which was the highest ruling organ of the armed forces, and being the head of state, he was the most senior military officer. Hence, he had the final say. How then was he able to Americanize Nigeria, considering the fact that the country was colonized by Britain? Funnily enough, Obasanjo took over the Nigerian government as the fourth military head of state in 1976, following the assassination of General Murtala Muhammed on the 13th of February of the same year. When he took the helm, he established an effective foreign policy that was versatile, proactive, and dynamic. As such, he gave his unswerving support to various liberation movements in different African countries that had yet to obtain independence. What is more, he assisted poor African countries with cash and resources. Additionally, his policy condemned apartheid rule in South Africa, making Nigeria a distant frontline state. The foregoing earned the nation the respect of the international community, such that it became the center point for the resolution of African conflicts. Obasanjo's versatility and dynamism made him the darling of world leaders and influencers, such as the then American President Jimmy Carter and German Chancellor Helmut Schmidt. It was during this time that Nigeria earned the title of the Giant of Africa, although he was on few occasions accused of focusing more on associating with the Western world than providing solutions to the problems bedeviling his country. The accusations might be right, based on his refusal to continue with the existing British-style parliamentary system of government, which did not enjoy his confidence. Instead, he wanted Nigeria to break all the treaties with the United Kingdom, but the attempt was unsuccessful. On account of his dispute with the British influence on the nation, he loosened Nigeria's long-standing connections with the UK. He opted for the American-style presidential system, which saw to the election of Nigeria's first executive president, Shehu Usman Shagari, who was handed a copy of the new constitution to guide an American-style bicameral parliament, as well as a federal system of governors for the country's then 19 states. Before he handed over to the civilian government, he had bonded with the US President Jimmy Carter, who later visited Nigeria in 1978, making him the first US president to do so. Incidentally, Obasanjo refused to visit the British Empire. The decision was unprecedented because no previous leader did that. To make matters worse, he discouraged his officials from doing the same. Rather, in October 1977, he visited the US and addressed the General Assembly of the United Nations. And barely 2 weeks after the experience, Nigeria got a seat on the United Nations Security Council. Over the course of his rule, he nationalized British Petroleum to African Petroleum and Barclays Bank to Union Bank in a bid to stamp his stance against the then British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher's friendly approach to white minority administration in Zimbabwe and South Africa. Interestingly, he played a pivotal role in settling conflicts between countries by encouraging the formation of a Pan-African military unit to foster peacekeeping efforts on the continent. According to Obasanjo, his reasons for adopting the American presidential system was to enhance Nigeria's system of government. Nevertheless, not much has changed since the adoption of the American style. By contrast, Nigerian politics has become a charade to its citizens.